What's up, everybody? Pen here. So, this is going to be my first impressions of the Apple TV 4K 2022 model. 128 gigs of internal storage. And I want to be getting into the reasons for me purchasing it and also what my plans is for the entertainment center in general. So, been doing some research on this device for a little bit. There's Reddit, different forums, YouTube, different creators, things and whatnot. And one thing that I paid attention to was the Infuse. Their updates, what are their plans, what are they doing going forward. And when they had a recent update in terms of supporting a Dolby Vision profile that you can typically find on a 4K Blu-ray disc, a light bulb it went off inside my head because I'm thinking, okay, they're heading in the right direction and they're sort of future-proofing themselves so that when Apple gets all of their other faculties together, this one application is going to be coming out swinging because at the end of the day, it's nice. So before we get into the software and things like that, this is literally the device here. Get in the camera good here. It's bare bones. Ethernet port here. HDMI port here. And the port for power. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. What you see is what you get with this device. But the software, the firmware, and the way I have it set up with the applications, this is going to be, my main cable box, moving forward in the sense of sports, pay-per-view events, even the uniformity when it comes to the music streaming services such as Tidal and Spotify, how it has a professional look and a consistent look throughout the user interface and just the box in general. It's clean, it's a solid, blackish, grayish color to it. Has some glossy reflective coating in a sense. The design is consistent. I have no complaints design wise. It's small, it's compact. It fits perfect underneath my 65-inch. And I also have another one coming in very soon because I want the best of both worlds. So this is the power cable. Perfect. This is a VIZIO 2.1 Dolby Atmos DTS:X all-in-one setup. There's no subwoofer, no rear speakers behind me. This is perfect for a desk setup. So my plan was, after I experienced the Apple TV and set it up correctly, was to eventually get two because I want one at the desk and I want also one at the home theater setup. There's this Nvidia Shield Pro 2019 model here. I have two of these. For what I'm using the Shield for at my home theater setup, mainly for the high-end playback of movies and TV shows. Since I set up the Apple TV successively and I have my own workflow with it, I don't need this here at the desk no longer. It is being replaced. Simply because I'm not watching movies hardcore at the desk. This is primarily a display for work, PC browsing casually, and PC gaming or gaming in general on PlayStation when the opportunity presents itself. I'm not going to be watching TV shows and movies hardcore as if I was watching it on the 65-inch, which have a 5.1.2 Dolby Atmos DTX setup, to where I got the subwoofer, I got the surrounds, and the Shield is fully taking advantage of the equipment. This device does it good. It just does it it doesn't do it as well as the Shield. Shield does uncompressed bitstream, this output lossless quality or audio, but it doesn't bitstream like the Shield does. And that's the difference, which is why this is perfect on this setup. And it's gonna all make sense once I put it together. Okay, so I'm just gonna plug the power cable in here. I already have my HDMI and everything. I'm going to plug it directly into the VIZIO soundbar, just so I can have that consistent look on my desk. And I'm gonna plug this up and get started. Okay, so I didn't feel like hooking this up to the capture card. I got a 4K capture card, which is the Nvidia, but it's internal. I took it out of my PC and I got a 1080p one, but I just wanted to record this part so you can get a sense of the space. You know, this is an OLED screen, so I primarily watch my OLEDs in a dark setting environment. So this is my Apple TV 4K 2022 model. You know, all links will be down in the description. What pieces I use with this equipment, all that. The way I have it set up is very simplistic. I have my settings here. This is the App Store right here. I put the applications that could not be deleted or anything that I wanted to be in here, label other. Like I'm not using movies and TV shows for iTunes. I'm not going to game on it. I'm not using the Apple TV streaming service app. I did download speed tests. So I do have Xfinity Gigabit. So I'll show that off here. This works beautifully. So generally, whenever I'm streaming in my home entertainment setup or home theater, I'm hardwired. It can vary throughout the day depending on what's going on, but the most I've seen on the Apple has been around 930 on the down, and the up, I pay for 42. The Apple would typically keep it between 20 and 40, give or take. Just depends on what's going on. And of course, you know, this is also alongside my other devices that's on the network as well. So, pretty cool. You know, ping is decent. You know, jitter is low. No detected packet loss. And my streaming has been flawless on this device. I invested in the equipment and into my network, and it is paying off for me. Now, this is the meat and potatoes. So when you purchase a device like this, it's going to be best, especially if you want to like have more control and also have a more enjoyable experience. You're probably going to want to opt for going paid. So Infuse, I am currently on a trial version. I plan on getting the lifetime after I do monthly, you know, just to try it out some more. TV Max, this is my live service application on this Apple TV device. This is a carbon clone of TV Mate. If you know what that is, you know this is a carbon clone, multiple server setup, multiple screens can be viewed at once. It's lovely. I also do have iPlay TV as a backup. I did purchase that as well. Upon purchasing this device, I'm getting 4 months of Apple Music, you know, for free, so I can try that out. These are my music streaming services. I have Tidal. I pay for that, and I'm also currently paying for Spotify. But I'm considering just dropping to the free tier plan because with this combination here, that's going to be enough. This Apple is just additional. And I have YouTube for some casual viewing and for 4K HDR demos purposes. What I like about it is that you can set up your folders, you can drag, put things in, and you can make it real easy on yourself. You know, this isn't a complicated device at all. As long as you do your research beforehand, figure out what you want to do, you can be successful and cut the cable cord with this Apple TV streaming device. Now I'm going to go into the settings here. I'm not going to be doing a in-depth, breakdown of this. I'm just going to go to the video and audio. So I have this set up in 4K SDR, HDMI output default. I have the match content. This is one of the benefits of having an Apple streaming device, where the matching of the dynamic ranges going from SDR to HDR, the match frame rate universally. This is what makes the streaming applications and everything come together from a consistent standpoint, because the Apple TV have these features in lock and on point with this device. Now, currently the audio format is stereo. It doesn't say auto/Dolby Atmos. I have to figure out what's going on here. It says that Dolby Atmos is not available. On my home theater setup, I had Atmos available. So perhaps you can change it here. Okay, I can change it to Dolby Digital 5.1. This is a 2.1 all-in-one soundbar, but it does have support for Dolby Atmos and DTS:X. So perhaps because this is a different setup, which is why I am getting that audio format, but it has already been stated by Apple themselves and many reviewers that this does not bitstream the DTS:X and True HD, but it does output lossless audio across movies, TV shows, and music for that matter. It's probably going to work the best for the music, especially for Apple Music, since it's under the same umbrella. So it says receiver, TV speakers. Interesting. Okay, I can get that. I'll probably play with that a little bit more later. But for this 2.1 setup, it's just fine how I have it set up. And I'm just liking the flow and the mood of this device. I'm getting ready to go into Infuse. It will scan for a bit. I will be right back. Okay, so before I get into Infuse, the audio format is auto Atmos available. So the way I got this was simply because I just changed the setting. I turned off the change format and Dolby Atmos was enabled. So it's going to be playing Atmos whenever it's available, but I do know that it's not going to bitstream the same type of Atmos metadata as the Nvidia Shield Pro 2019 does in my home theater environment. So I do know the difference, I am aware, but just a heads up in that department. Okay, so this is Infuse. So I believe there is a free version of this, but I just opted for the pay route. I'm currently on a trial. What I like about it is that it reminds me of Plex 4K, NB 4K, Jellyfin 4K, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, where it has the media server as the back end, but you're using the KODI as the front end. This reminds me of it, of just how you can set up your home screen and you have control, but it presents you with a nice user interface. So it's going to be certain movies and certain content that I'm simply going to watch on the Apple TV, simply because the audio format isn't there and I'm just watching it casually and I just want to change the scenery. This is where this device gets more introduced to in the home theater. And just the genres, like how it has this laid out here, that presentation is crazy. This is the best to go if you're trying to like watch movies and TV shows. Rather you have a local server or a cloud setup, which is what I have. I have everything fully automated and it's cloud-based. I do backups to external hard drives pulled from the cloud directly. This is my setup. Come in here, watch the quality, and get out. And cool stuff. Even the TV show genres, very nice. Very nice. Did some sound testing. Got my local server with Synology. Got my Dolby demos. And yeah, like the audio, you're taking a loss in audio going from a Shield Pro 2019 to this Apple 4K 2022 model. The audio is good. It's just that when I want to watch something more serious, that I'm going to be like watching for real, I'm going to be using the Shield for that. Like, for example, the new Avatar movie that's going to be coming out on 4K Blu-ray, I'm going to be watching that on the Shield. The Apple TV does have better colors, but it's not a night and day difference. It's a little bit more saturated. Those yellows are more yellow. The greens are more green. It's sort of identical if you were to push your color slider on your TV in settings from 50 to like 54 or 55. It's that type of difference. Is it a game changer? No. Is it subtle? Yes. Is it noticeable? Yes. Out the box, does it produce better colors than the Shield? Yes. It has its pros and cons. And one of its major pros is Infuse. I'm not going to be getting into the setup in this video, just showcasing the workflow. Back out there, it's my TV app. 2 TV apps. I see all the content that I want with these applications right here. No problem on the Apple TV. And I can see what I want, when I want on the Shield, no problem with those applications. Instead of Emby, I'm using Infuse. Instead of TV Mate, I'm using TV Max, which is a clone. And then I got my music streaming applications. I mean, across the board, this device just have uniformity on a level that I simply did not witness on Android tvOS. And it brings something to the table. When they get their affairs in order, when it comes to the audio, they're going to tear up some things in the streaming world. Imagine if they can offer uncompressed on their iTunes library for their movies and TV shows. And if they were to bring that, the people that already purchased and invest into that platform, it would be a free upgrade that they wouldn't have to pay any additional costs. It would just be there. And I think they're trying to get that set up. It's not finalized as of right now especially for the audio. Now, the picture quality is going to be A1 because of the sources that I have and because it's a 1-to-1 bit for bit copy that you can find on the Blu-ray disc in terms of audio and video. I can stream that easily on this. It's just the audio isn't there, which is why I have my Nvidia Shield Pro 2019 because I don't have a dedicated Blu-ray player. So this has its purpose and its function. And I'm going to go into title here. Oh, don't want to play nothing. It's giving you a sense of the albums, like the uniformity is dope. Can come in here, stream my content. I'm from Detroit, so, I listen to Big Sean throughout the years, high school, transition to college, things like that, even now. So, got some Drake on there. Got some Royce the 5'9". That hit 'em ding. Ooh. But yeah, overall, my first impressions of this device is that at least on the desk setup, it's replacing my Nvidia Shield Pro 2019, my second Shield model, because I'm going to be treating it like a a traditional cable box. Is it's going to have my movies. It's going to have my TV shows what I wanted. Cable has music stations. If you guys remember Music Choice, especially if you have Comcast back in the day, I just replaced that with Apple Music, Tidal, and Spotify. And then in terms of YouTube, that isn't anything new, but that's more of a modern streaming type of thing. So it's my new cable box. Now, my dedicated movie player and things for TV shows, for more high-end stuff, it's going to be my Shield. That's going to be my 4K player of choice. But my streaming player of choice, in a sense, would be the Apple TV 4K. And it's literally plug and play. You do the research, you get your applications from the App Store, and you are good to go. Now, if you have any questions about this device, you are free to comment. You are also free to email me. And until next time, peace out, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.